Hello everybody and welcome to Quincy's Tavern. My name is Quincy. Welcome into our continual playthrough of Best Served Cold. We're on our second case, and we're trying to figure out who killed our friend Elena. We're just gonna jump on in here. I got my little dude in the corner, a little PNG that reacts to my voice and everything, so we got that working again. So you can see him there. That'll be me for now. Oh. Glowering man. A rough-looking man with a scar on his face approaches the bar. As he's closing in, he scans the room as if he's searching for someone. Now you gotta remember, because this is the second case, we're not the same bartender. Like canonically, like we're a different person. So, to remember that, so Peter doesn't know us here. What can I get you? Information. Did a cop or detective type fella visit this place recently? There was a detective here yesterday, yes? Detective. So the maggot got the promotion in the end. Some history there? What made you think I wanted to talk about him more? Watch your mouth. Ooh. Would you like a drink? The angry expression fades. He squints as he looks you up and down. You really want me to believe you're just a bartender, huh? What else would I be doing behind the bar? Smart mouth. Go ahead then. Let's see how good you are. I'm all smiles and sunshine before I have a drink. After. Depends on whether the drink hits the spot. What flavor you'd like? I see my old favorite is off the menu. Damn war. Got anything dark and bitter? Dark and bitter. Let's see if we can ease the tension here. What you feeling tension for? You ain't done nothing wrong to me. As far as I know. Ooh. Something dark and bitter. Dark and bitter, eh? What about the perfect storm? It's got some dark rum in it. Boop, boop, boop. Boop, 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 boop. Every time I make a drink, I gotta take a sip of my water. Keeps me hydrated. Didn't think anyone could figure out my favorite flavors. Impressive. Let's get the official stuff out of the way. Name's Peter. I'm here on behalf of your business partner, Carla. She wants to make sure you're gonna pay up for that loan you took. We were lenient during your little rough patch, but now that you're making actual money again, the rules are changing. Carla's a patient woman, but the patience has a price. She had her feelings hurt before, you know. I'm working on it. So you're running a bar. You do what you gotta do to make your scratch, and if you need to change hustle, so be it. As long as it brings in the lay at the end of the day, Carla will be happy. I'm just the predictable effect of a specific cause. The cause is failing to pay Carla, and the effect I had on the last fella who didn't pony up was extremely unpleasant. I took him into deep water so we could learn what kind of man he was. He learned. Turns out he was the kind of man who pays up. That was the end of our business. I get it. I'm not afraid. I ain't trying to scare you. It's just experience. I get money out of people because I've been doing it a long time. Bigger and badder folk than you have said no to me. In the end, those no's turned to yeses. Look at my face. Do I look worried? I guess not. Listen, bud. I always try to give folks a decent warning if I think they'll listen. Warning? That Detective Hugo Mertens? Don't give him that copper an ounce of your trust. The backstabbing and betrayals that happens between me and my unsavory ilk. It's high school drama compared to what the cops are up to. They stomp on an old Bakovia Baba into the mud for a chance of promotion. If our pretty-eyed policeman ever walks that alleyway out back on his own, me and him will have a nice little chat. He needs put in his place. Just a chat. Nothing wrong with that. Anyway, I'll be back to check in every now and then. Bye, Peter. Ooh, looks like we owe money to Carla. Never good. New friend. Dignified lady. An old lady huffs as she clambers up to the stool awkwardly. She hums to herself gently as she adjusts her clothes and gets comfy. Good evening. Good evening. What brings you here? Curiosity? And I could use a drink. Mr. Floere mentioned this place, the nightcap, the bar below my bookshop. Yes, he's converted the space. Vincent is a jolly good fellow when he's in a good mood, which is most of the time. Now, about that drink. What can I get you? Can you make me something fruity? Perhaps something with citrus? You gently place a glass on the counter. One cocktail coming up. Thank you kindly, dear. Something with citrus. Orange daisy? Lemon juice? Let's go on the nose here with the orange daisy. Take a sip of water. It's got 2 citruses. It's like citri. Perfection. You mix drinks like I brew tea, with patience and care, and with your heart. In Huaxia, my family has a long history across 5 generations of brewing and serving fine teas. Mixing and serving drinks of any type is an art and a craft. Oh, I should introduce myself properly. I'm Feng Bai. You may call me Miss Bai. How was your day, Miss Bai? Clouds followed me, bartender, even when the sun shone. My shop is closed and I don't know when we can open again. At church today, I felt the pitying gazes fall upon me like heavy raindrops. What will Miss Bai do now? I'm sorry to hear that. I don't want their pity. I just want to serve them tea and share in their conversation. I do not care for being the subject of gossip. I'm sure you've heard it by now. The girl who died in my establishment. I heard. A very sad thing, and anyhow. Thank you for the drink, bartender. I'll go mingle. Farewell. Okay, let's go and get serve drinks over here. It's getting busy in here. I hope the drinks are good. They are. What else shall we discuss? What drinks does he like again? We haven't figured it out. Okay. Alright. Go ahead and make it good. Can't be too strong. What about... He's okay with the pirate's joy, but it wasn't his favorite. What about the orange daisy as well? He says he likes stuff that doesn't... I feel like he'd be a fruity drink guy. Take a sip of water. It looks tasty. Like an orange Julius. This is an unusual way to mix this particular drink, but I don't mind it. Okay. Did you like it? No. It was alright. Alright, I heard you're avoiding Maria. Avoiding her? I'm not avoiding her. She's nothing to me. Seems like you're mad at her. And vice versa. We're 2 people with one thing in common. We do not want to be around one another. My mother taught me to avoid women like her, and she was right. Competing for Elena's affection made neither of us happy. You both lost Elena. And Maria no doubt blames me. I could offer her no consolation. What could she offer me? Chess lessons? Condescension? No, thank you. Does she have a reason to blame you? No, she's crazy. And I hope you're not implying anything more. If you are, talk to my family lawyer. We'll swat you like a fly. Do you have family nearby? 2 nearby. Tell me, when do you think parents' responsibilities for their sons and daughter ends? When you become an adult. I want this because hopefully he likes this answer. Well, I certainly agree parents should stay out of your personal business, but financially, they should be a lifetime so that you can enjoy your life without worrying about economic ruin. So you're short of money? It wasn't hard for you to read between the lines though, was it? Yes, indeed. I am granted an allowance which would stifle a child's ambition. Please, Mommy, can I have a penny for sweeties? Such benevolence from father and mother. If I were less patient and canny, I might strike out on my own and leave them to rot in the family manor. Let's present some clues and see if he knows anything. Do you know about this threatening letter? You're telling me someone was leeching away her wealth this whole time? Appalling. Who would do such a thing? Okay, so he didn't really know anything about that. Okay, what about this the charcoal tablets that Feng Bai gave everybody? Did you take one of these? Yeah, I remember. I'm glad she didn't tell us it was charcoal she was having to swallow until afterwards, or I probably wouldn't have done it. Even if you may have died. It's disgusting, bartender. Charcoal is what you draw with an art class. It's not medicine. Well, I mean, I guess it depends on how you use it. My mother is expecting me back soon. I should get a hustle. As a son of a doctor, I think he should have known that. Like, it has benefits. Another day. I'm so glad work is over. Good evening, Maria. Let's catch up. Alright. We need her to like us. We didn't find your favorite drink yet. A drink? Surprise me. Alright, she liked the Liberty, but it wasn't her favorite. She has two favorites in here. We don't want anything too strong at the moment. That's too strong, too strong. What about the Perfect Storm? She does like, she liked the Femme Fatale, which was like the, oh, drink of water, which was like the Bloody Mary. I'm on for improvisation. This is unusual, but it works. I think she liked it, but wasn't her favorite. Okay. Let's present some clues. Do you know anything about this threatening letter? What is this? Is this your idea of a sick joke? This letter was found in Elena's home. No, I don't believe you. She was not that kind of person. You have no idea what the letter could be talking about? None whatsoever. Okay. What about the charcoal? Miss Bai may have saved our lives. Why are you treating her with such suspicion? You don't think it's a little odd? No, I don't. She knew Elena was perfectly healthy, so of course it wasn't a natural cause. And her knowing to administer charcoal? If someone being smarter than you makes someone suspicious, you must be nervous a lot. Touche. That's pretty good. Okay, you got me there. Elena's secret. You see Maria's jaw clench. For an instant, she simply glowers at you in silence, weighing her words carefully. I'm going to be charitable and assume you had good intentions on bringing this up. But I'm telling you now, stay out of Elena's private affairs. You have no right to rifle through her closet looking for skeletons. You hear me? Have some respect. I just want to know why someone would have wanted to harm her, Maria. Fine. Yes, Killian told me about her medication. Now go bark up some other tree. So we think it's blackmail. Someone that knew Elena drugs had been blackmailing her. Okay, so it's the same thing. Alright. Anything about Elena puts her in a bad mood. So, I mean, understandably so. Alright, Miss Bai. What sort of drinks do you like, Miss Bai? I tend to like drinks that are fruity. Perhaps some with citrus if you have it. Okay. Let's see. Can you tell me anything about Elena? Must you bother an old, tired woman? I'm certain you already know what happened to her. Feng looks away, clearly upset. For a moment, you wonder if she'll confide in you, but then she steels herself, and you need to get her guard down first. I'm not comfortable talking about it any further right now. I hope you understand. So we need to get... Ooh, okay, so we need to get her a little more tipsy. Tell me about your place, the Tea Terrace. My pride and joy. It's been a privilege to serve my customers these past 30 years. 37? Wow. I came here during the age of prosperity, and I've never looked back since. The Tea Terrace is a little slice of Huaxia right here in Sa. How's business? We're always busy, but I confess the mood isn't as serene as it used to be. The shadow of war does not help anyone's business, and I don't really enjoy talking about it. So, let's find a better subject. Has the tea terrace changed over the years? Very much. But only the teas and the customers. The decor ages like wine, though it could probably do with more regular dusting. You like your customers? It's my job to take care of my customers. My passion too. I especially enjoy getting to know this younger generation, with their optimism, their vibrancy. It's a pleasure to listen in on their conversations. I believe the young folk are much wiser than my generation. They treat art, culture, and even tea as they should. Something to explore, debate, and enjoy. My peers are too stuffy, too dour. The youth holds the future. Indeed. And with the tea terrace, and when the tea terrace opens again, I look forward to seeing their flirtation, their debates, and their funny fashions. I enjoy being caught up in the tangle of their lives. It keeps me young. Do you come here for the drinks or the people? The people, if I'm honest. I miss the buzz of the tea terrace when it closes at 5. Though truth be told, the buzz has diminished these last few months. What happened? I think it's the shadow of war. People need something stronger than tea to brighten their spirits. Right now, the speakeasy has all the light and life I miss. And the drinks? Oh, yes, nice enough. I'm not a big drinker, but I do love conversation. And nothing loosens lips quite as well as liquor. I was considering offering coffee to my patrons too, though. But if I sell coffee, how can I keep the conversations flowing? People don't sit and chat with coffee like they do with a big pot of tea. They drink the little espressos fast, then leave. You could sell cappuccinos? Well, perhaps. I could call them yappuccinos. What can you tell me about your country of origin? Oh, I haven't been there in a long time, dear. But I can try my best. What do you want to know? Do you miss it? I miss the gardens. I like the style here in Sara just fine with all the grass and trees, but my heart yearns for a tranquil pond here and there. Sounds nice. Does it have bars? No, dear. We have taverns and little... Well, you don't have the word here, but little cozy bars for 4 or 5 customers. They are full of lively chat. Yes, I am getting a bit melancholy. I miss the people of Huaxia when I'm here, but I'd miss the people of the world if I moved back home. Bukovi is a hub, and on any given afternoon I could have patrons from all corners of the globe sharing tea. I like gardens, temples, mountains, and warm weather just fine. But what I really care about is people. That's why I love Bukovi. And that's how I can tolerate this dreadfully chilly Tsaran climate. And I confess, the churches here help me feel closer to the goddess. I know her spirit lives in all of us and everywhere. But in the cloisters of the Bukovi Grand Cathedral, I feel like she is walking arm in arm with me. You're religious. I am. The goddess found me in my moment of need. I was not in despair, but I found myself sitting in a beautiful garden, feeling the space where happiness should be. But there was nothing. I had a thought that I could not shake. There must be more. The thought was so clear in my head. Then the breeze blew, and I swear, as clear as I can be, I heard her voice, lyrical, musical, loud, and confident. What did it say? There is. That was it. That was it. And that was enough. Might I ask, what do you think? I won't preach to you, but I am interested in your own beliefs. believe in something, but I'm not sure what. I admire the ability to leave the heart open to possibilities. I hope you feel it with something worthwhile. Oh, is that the time? I'm off home. Take care. Good evening, Detective Mertens. They have that this is blackmail. The blackmailer could have simply leaked Elena's secrets, but opted for murder instead. They knew Elena was clever enough to figure out their identity. Perhaps they feared the tables would turn on them. Find out if any of the people that knew her secret were desperate for money. That must be the answer. Okay. So... well, we know that Killian is in need of money. Miss Bai likes the orange daisy. It's good. Sandra Fisher. That was a cool lady. Alright. Closed for the evening. We didn't get any more clues, unfortunately. Yeah, just this blackmail. So we'll present this blackmail one. We need to go talk to Miss Bai about the charcoal, how she knew about the charcoal. I wonder what the name of our kitty is. Oh my goodness, look at all the people. Hugo enters the bar. As he approaches, his eyes dart over to the older woman sitting in the back. You notice his posture stiffen. Ooh. Of course the old bat would find this place. Not the nicest thing to say about my customers. Apologies. It's just that the lady in question has been quite the thorn in our side over at the station. Her name is Elena Ernest. I can't deny she was once a formidable talent and an effective detective. Effective detective? Yes. Eventually, she grew tired of police work and turned in her badge to become a private investigator. It's a lucrative path to follow, and she abandoned duty to pursue fortune. Rather than use her skills to hunt down criminals, she takes a small fortune investigating high-profile art thefts and espionage. I fail to see the issue. I feel like I need to agree with him, and even though, like, I think that's pretty cool, I need to agree with him to make him like us. Seems like a waste of talent. Our problem is the press. The public know her name. When the constabulary is seen to be dragging its feet on an investigation, pressure mounts on us to give her a call. And invariably, she eventually waltzes in. If she wants to masquerade as a two-bit gumshoe, I don't give a damn. But I can't abide this ambiguity. Either she's a detective or a PI. There are two different worlds, and she is one foot in each. And I wish to the goddess she would just choose. You asked a bartender for help. Oh, the ice underneath you is getting thinner with every smart comment you make. Or what, buddy? What are you gonna do? I can set aside my emotions for a moment. There's no denying that she's a talented, experienced investigator. Use her knowledge to your advantage. Get on her good side and she might share her insights. But understand that she has no time for fools. I'll keep that in mind. Good. Now, as promised, I came here to bring you the case file. I trust you've already gotten to know our suspects. I've spoken to all four. Good start. It seems you've been laying down your groundwork. Now it's time to see what you can shake loose. Try to find out who had motive to kill Elena, who was capable of the crime, and who has an alibi that would cross them off our list. I'll drop by every day. Don't hesitate to call on me if you need to talk through the case, what you found. As long as you get me those pieces, I can build a case out of it. I'll see you around. Can we give the case file to her? Hello? The older woman that Hugo introduced as Elena Ernest sits down at the stool. There's an aura of authority around her that only comes with age. Her expression is pleasant and polite, but You know it can become stern in a flash. Fascinating how Detective Mertens walks in and out of here, unbothered by the fact that it's the same business he once shut down. I would introduce myself, but I suspect that, given the look on Detective Mertens' face when he saw me, he's already told you who I am. Still, I enjoy these kinds of pleasantries even if they're redundant. I am Elena Ernest, former detective at the Bakovi Police Department and current private investigator. Almost retired, but not quite. It's a pleasure to meet you, Elena. Since I am no longer at the constabulary's payroll, there's no need for me to feel guilty about enjoying a drink at an illegal bar. Do make something for me, dear. What sort of flavor do you enjoy? Would simple fruity flavors be enough for you to work with? Simple fruity. One drink coming up. Let's see if Vincent knows how to hire decent staff. Simple and fruity. So the Pirate's Joy or the Orange Daisy. Passion fruit liqueur. This has passion fruit in it. Passion fruit juice, lime juice. Take a sip of water. Passable. I can drink this. After Vincent told me about Hugo's antics, I decided it would be a good idea to visit this place. I hear you've been roped in to help. That's correct. The murder of Elena Dragos, 7 days and no progress. The first correct deduction Hugo made was realizing that he was out of his depth. Floundering, like a drowned man looking at a receding hair shoreline. A year ago, after that high-profile case, he was flying high, but he's in decline now and he knows it. I've seen him on the way back down. The waxen wings melted pretty quickly. I'll speak plainly here. I'm here to help as a favor for 3 people. First, Vincent. He's an old friend, and his reputation depends on whether or not you can help Hugo solve this. Second is Feng Bai, the owner of the tea terrace. She's innocent in all this, and it would help me sleep at night knowing she is no longer on the police's suspect list. And the final person? Me? This case is special. I need to be involved. Why is it special to you? We can discuss that further if you earn my trust. I was investigating in Bakovi before Hugo was born. When you need wisdom and experience, speak with me. The price for my insight is the information you provide. For you, the deal would be a good one. Whether you make use of my services or not is up to you. Oh, excuse me, the water. It's up to you, of course. Now, thanks for the drink, darling. I'll be heading out. Goodbye, Elena. So we put together a case and we give it to Elena. And we screw over Hugo. That's the plan, right? Right. I trust everything is going smoothly? Going well? Well then, what shall we discuss today? What sort of drinks do you like, Vincent? Something classy with red wine served over ice and a lemon. I love sucking on one afterwards. I can work with that. Red wine and lemon. Red wine. This got a lemon in it. It's too strong. Oh, he likes the Eastern Ruby. Is it the only thing with red wine? I think it is. White rum, cherry, white rum, vodka, dark rum, vodka, yeah. Pretty much it. We give the people what they ask for. Oh, sip of water. Doesn't have a lemon on it though. It's the purest nectar. Perfection. How is business at Libraria? Things are going quite well. I believe I've spotted a few familiar faces here at the bar. Some of my customers from the bookshop are making their way here. Would you happen to know Maria? I always liked that girl ever since we met last year. She may be of modest birth, but she's got the spirit of an educated soul. Besides spending time reading at the bar, she also frequents my bookshop looking for interesting literature. Always different topics too. What sort of topics? Well, let's see. The history of Tsara, some books on chess, obviously, and some of those women's romance books. Though I notice she likes the ones where the lady and the gentleman don't end up together. And a few weeks ago, she purchased a classic encyclopedia about all the botanical poisons of Bokovi. Fascinating text and gorgeous illustrations to boot. In light of recent events, that probably wasn't the most discreet thing to reveal. I'm sure it's a complete coincidence. Ignore the ramblings of this old man. Let's change the subject, shall we? I don't think she would kill Elena. Are there any good food establishments nearby? Or what was all that trouble with Detective Mertens? Don't worry too much about our friend Hugo. I can handle him. He was threatening us. Please, I assure you I have done my due diligence. I'm confident we have leverage over the detective, but I doubt we will have to use it. The police know all about us? Yes. You must trust that I have put measures in place to protect us. Relax. I'm not a reckless gentleman. He needs us, and I think he knows how tenuous all of our positions are if we don't play together nicely. I guess I'll just have to trust you. Yes, very good. Please just go along with Detective Merton's request, and I will take care of the rest. Maria bought a book on botanical poisons from Vincent's bookshop just a few weeks ago. If she wanted to kill Elena, this book would have given her all the information she needed. So it's evidence, but there's no motive or defense yet. Maria, Killian, Wendy, and Feng Bai. I don't think it was Maria. I don't think it was Feng Bai. It could be Killian, but we need to see what Wendy is all about, because, I mean, Killian had some hard evidence in the first case. Who knows what he's capable of? Alright, let's go ahead and do some clues here if he knows anything. Let's see. Did you know Elena's secret? I'd rather you didn't tell me things like this, bartender. Despise gossip. Apologies. Well, any family in Bokovi? Not anymore. Laura passed away 4 years ago. I can barely say her name for the first 2. It really doesn't get easier, you know? Your wife? We were married for 39 years. It would be nice if we could have finished a nice round number. But the illness didn't give us a year. She was gone in 2 months. Are you ready to talk about it? I am now, but thank you for checking. If war does break out, disease will ravage the continent just like last time. People younger and healthier than Flora will suffer. But we shouldn't dwell on such morose thoughts. I am confident our leaders will guide us through the tricky passage and find a path to peace. Me too. Meanwhile, I'll continue to try to help the community in any way I can. And one way I can help the common man and woman is with this cheery establishment. Laura would have ordered a gin with lime and spent many hours down here with us all. Excuse me a moment. I think I need to talk about something else. Vincent stares off into the distance. You should talk about something else. It's getting late. I'll be back soon. Take care. Bye, Vincent. All 4 suspects sitting here. Alright, Miss Bai. Good to see you. Likewise, Miss Bai. Let's see. You liked the orange daisy. But if we want something else, we need to get you a little bit more tipsy. We need a 6 or higher. The night count. Ooh, the one night stand also has like fruit. Maybe she'll like that too. Drink of water. You remind me of a young me, always looking for bold new flavors to combine. Perfectly palatable. Did you like that one too? Okay, probably not really. So, what do you recommend? Can you tell me anything about Elena? Oh, poor Elena. The girl's never had it easy. Fung sighs with great sadness. It seems the alcohol has made her unable or unwilling to hold back her true emotions. Did you know that Elena lost her mother at a young age? What exactly? Faith. You want me to say more? Her mother is not dead. She abandoned her family to live with a cult. Dea Sarai. Growing up, the girl struggled without a mother. Her gambling father was more of a child than she was. It must have been tough. When she first stumbled into my tea shop with her friend Maria, the two were ecstatic to find a place they could play chess in peace. I grew quite attached to those girls. Just last month, Elena called me Auntie Fung. About 6 months ago, she walked into the tea terrace alone. Then she cried for hours. When she finally calmed down, I asked her whatever was the matter. Maria and Elena had a fight. She didn't want to say what it was about, but it was important enough to end their friendship. Oh. The day of her death was the day of their reconciliation. They had just started talking again. I was so happy for them. My condolences. So, this is getting dramatic. These started visiting the tea house together around 6 months ago. When asked about it, Elena confessed they had a big fight. Okay, what do you know about charcoal? Yes, I gave everyone activated charcoal when Elena began convulsing. You just happen to have it on hand? Now I've started to relax. Let me talk a little, dear. You see, as someone who serves a large variety of tea, it is vital to have a good understanding of the various plants and herbs that make up the drinks. It's only natural that part of that knowledge includes the study of poisonous substances and ways to neutralize them. In my homeland, there's plenty of stories of old men picking flowers in the wild, believing they can brew the most delicious pot of tea. Should I be saying this? No, why not? Anyway, such stories often end with those old men covered in a deadly rash, desperate for help. So you need to know how to treat them. Sounds like a smart habit. Okay. The good thing she was able to do that. Bung admitted that she has extensive knowledge of poisons and toxins, though she refuses to divulge how or why she learned about this topic. Let's ask her this one again and see if she will give us more information. You're a sly one, using your craft to put people in a talking mood. See why the young detective comes to speak to you so often. I said what I said. It's all you're getting from me. That's not a crime you'd acknowledge, is it? Okay, so I think we need to maybe get to know her a little bit better. I saw you reading earlier this evening. Ah, yes, my little book of wisdom. I wasn't reading it, I was writing it. You're writing a book? It's more like a journal. A notebook I used to keep track of all the things that give me joy. My friend Albert owns the little printing press in the stack, and he bound it for me so it looks like a little novel. That's a good idea. Thank you. I think we're often poor judges of what makes us truly happy. How so? Before I started this journal, if you asked me what made me happy, I would say the usual things. Peace and quiet and tea, drinks with an old friend, receiving a nicely wrapped gift with a big pink bow. Those sound great. They're all pleasant enough, but they don't make me as happy as I think they all make me. Meanwhile, last week I was sweeping the dust and loose tea in the basement. I don't think I have ever felt more content. Hard work is virtuous. It's not about what seems enjoyable, it's about what brings joy. Next time you feel true happiness, consider what you are doing and what makes you feel that way, and then write it down. I will. Now don't get me wrong, I'm not advocating against earthly pleasures, quite the opposite. Delicate tea, a cozy blanket in winter, a touch of a handsome man or woman. These are all fine things that we should allow ourselves to enjoy. However, I also believe we don't always know what we like. Pleasure lies not only in familiar places, and if we look hard, we can find it in the least expect to. We can find it when we least expect to. I know, I need to think about this. Don't waste too much time on my nonsense, dear. What's the saying? Life is too important to take seriously. I believe the importance of silly business. You believe in what? Oh, silly business. It's the heart of my philosophy. It's the belief that most of what we do in life is absurd, deeply silly. The business of life is absurd. Hence, silly business. Yes, that's it. I have more to say, but perhaps another day. I've nattered for too long already. Let's see. You know anything about Maria in this book? I don't really see how that's any of my business of mine, dear. What about blackmail? How horrible. Elena had so much to give to the world, but all her killer wanted was her money. Oh. Goodbye. Alright. We got quite a few new clues from Bai, which is great. Keeps a journal about things that bring her joy. Gave us a lot of information. 2 new clues in one day is pretty good. Killian. What did you like? You have 2 drinks we haven't figured out yet. Okay. Okay, so he liked these 2. They weren't his favorite, though. Maybe this little itty bitty one. The ambush. Take a sip. Are you coming here more often recently? I don't think you'd begrudge me a drink at this hard time. Guess not. Elena's death, an imminent war, my financial destitution, my friends constantly letting me down. These are the darkest of days. Drink as much as you need to feel better. Drink won't solve your problems. No, but it will make them hurt less. Still, thanks for the concern. It is noted. So we need, let's see. So Elena's secret. Wendy can't keep her mouth shut, can she? So much for trusting friends. Yes, I knew she was taking pills. I spent enough time at my mother's practice to recognize what they were when I saw them in her bag. I just figured her friends should know. Is that a crime? There's nothing more to that than that. Sorry for asking. What about this blackmail letter? Someone knew about the pills. But everyone I told, but I told everyone. Is this all my fault? You told people? Buddy. What about this unfriendedness? Yeah, I remember that day. And it wasn't pretty. I'd never seen Elena cry like that before. Do you know what the fight was about? No clue. She didn't want to tell me anything, but I assumed Maria started it. What makes you say that? She's always been an annoyance, so I was happy to have her out of our lives. But Elena flew off the handle when I told her as much. She never really got over Maria either. He doesn't really care about Elena. Maybe he'll, like, push the fact that he thinks Maria could be the killer. She bought a book on poisons. Talk about an open and shut case. Can't get much clearer than that, can it? What are you waiting for? Arrest her already. I'm just a bartender. Ugh. Okay. Yeah, he would just, like, dive into it. I was hoping for some more information, but... Okay. Alright, let's see... We might need to get her a little more drunk, so like a 4 or higher, I think. She didn't care about the perfect storm. What about the pirate's joy? Take a sip. It's unusual, but it works. Okay. There are friends that can support you. Who? How about Miss Bai? She's reached out, but I keep telling her I need space and time. I guess I could go talk to her. She was kind to Elena, to both of us. It's Elena I needed to talk to, and we stopped talking for so long. I forgot how mad I was at her. At the tea house, I was happy we were reconciling, but that anger, it didn't go away, and it still hasn't gone away. You couldn't control the anger? No, I still can't. I don't care what happens now. What about your family? Back on the farm? Mom is too busy keeping my brothers out of trouble and running the house. Dad had a stroke. Sorry. He smiles more now and shouts less. He's happy enough. They all are. But they don't need me, and I don't think they can come help me here. I have to do it alone. So what was this fight about? What business of that is yours? I came here to relax, not to be interrogated by some nosy stranger. I'm sorry, that wasn't proper. It's okay. I shouldn't have flown off the handle like that. I've been feeling myself. And we need her to get her to like us a little bit more. How about that crazy thing that Feng Bai knows about all those poisons and things? Possessing knowledge is not a crime. Okay. What do you know about Killian coming in late? That's right, he came in much later in the middle of one of our games. Totally threw me off. You and Elena had an argument after that. An argument? Oh, please, whoever told you that was exaggerating. I was concerned that Elena had invited him a sort of olive branch, that she may have been harboring thoughts of taking him back. Must forbid. I suppose in retrospect it must have been Wendy's doing. She always did love pointless drama. Interesting. Take him back. So he came home after a while. Why did he come home? Please, I only have so much empathy for poor Killian not getting all the spending money he feels entitled to. He always gets the job, you know. He could always get a job, you know, like the rest of us. People who have actual problems. Okay. Alright, Miss Wendy, you're next. Busy on the boulevard tonight. How's business? Alright. You liked the one-night stand. Carry something special, Wendy. Absolutely. I'll have you know that anything extravagant tastes divine to me. Let's see if we can find something also fabulous. What about the Eastern Ruby? I noticed some deviation from the common recipe for this drink. Experimentation has led to great results throughout history. Very daring. Didn't quite like that one, but it's okay. Do you know Maria well? I certainly do. How is the poor girl? She's a mess. I very much agree. After what happened to her best friend, I can't imagine her being in any other state. Really sad. How strong was their friendship? Not as strong as it used to be, though you might be asking the wrong person in this regard. Some see the best in people. I usually have an eye for the worst. At times like this, it does me no credit. Take Maria, for example. She always seemed so comfortable being in Elena's shadow, always unbothered by seeing her reflection in that second-place silver trophy because her best friend was by her side. Sometimes I wonder what it would take to break that attitude. Like I said, seeing the worst in people can make me seem unkind at a moment like this. But I wonder if Maria was made to play second fiddle just a little too long. Of course. Okay. What about this whole thing? Oh dear, it seems Maria has been naughty indeed. I was not surprised it was her. She's always a cunning little schemer. I suppose that's what made her so good at chess. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. What about this whole blackmail thing? So whoever killed Elena had been bleeding her dry beforehand. Oh my, I always suspected it was Killian, but this surely confirms it. He's been leeching off her from the start. Anything to get away from Mommy and Daddy. That's what I thought too. That's right. For a while I thought Killian had just stood all of us up, after I'd gone through the trouble of inviting him too. Why did you do that? Pity, I suppose. How many other friends do you think the boy has? That, and I wanted someone I could actually talk to while the girls were focusing on their chess game. Interesting. Okay. Alright, Mr. Mertens. Let's see what you got. Private. Anything else I should know about Elena? Keep conversation with her to a minimum. She's accustomed to manipulating experienced detectives and seasoned criminals. She'll eat you for breakfast. You want me to avoid her? As much as you can, while still using her skills in the investigation. Would she say the same about you? Undoubtedly. How do I know who to trust? Because I just told you who to trust. I don't like him. Anyway, here is a motive. Or evidence, rather. Maria bought a book of poisons from Libraria mere weeks before the incident. Coincident or not, this does not look good for her. Excellent work, bartender. They were unfriended. A falling out between close friends. This could be important. I wonder what their conflict was about. Considering how close they once were, it must have been serious. Do we know anything of what happened around that time? Not yet. Keep asking around about it. Interesting. It's possible she learned at a young age out of mere curiosity, of course, but one has to wonder why such a topic was ever relevant in her past life to begin with. Perhaps it's time to take a closer look at Miss Bai's past. I don't think it was Miss Bai. Wendy believes that Maria always accepted being second best and living in Elena's shadows, but suspected that something finally changed that attitude. It takes a lot of humility to be content with living in someone's shadow, but nothing will poison a friendship faster than envy and ambition. Something clearly happened between the two, but what? See what you can piece together. I'm working on it. Goodbye, Mertens. Get out of here. Alright, let's see if we can put some clues together. Don't you worry. I am the greatest detective ever. And it comes from considering every single clue. Leave no stone unturned. Because you never know when something might pop out. Like betrayal! 6 months ago, Maria learned that Elena was using performance-enhancing drugs to excel at chess. Around the same time, the two had an argument that ended their friendship. Why did the pills cause such a fallout? We have a new clue. You know, that's what it takes being the world's best detective. Maria accepted her always ending in second place as long as she believed Elena won her matches fairly. Once she discovered Elena had been using illegal performance-enhancing medication, it could have been a reason to seek revenge against her former friend. True. Oh my goodness. We're putting together the case, friends. Well, why would Elena do it? I mean, I get it, but like, does she have a defense? I don't. If it's Elena, I'm so sad. Does she know anything about, like, Elena's death, threatening letter? Check every last corner. Okay. Well, it looks like we have a motive and evidence. That's unfortunate. But like, why would you be there when you kill her? I don't understand. Alright. Let's go to bed. Let's do one more day. We won't end here. We'll do one more day. Wendy Brooker sits down at the bar, a serene smile on her face. Got something to celebrate, Wendy? Celebrate isn't quite the appropriate word, though I do indeed have something to look forward to. It is time for another sojourn back to the family mansion. I try to visit at once a month. While the area around has always been quite dull, I do enjoy the opulence of my childhood manor. How's your relationship with your family? They're perfectly pleasant. I simply struggle to deal with the boredom that comes with the region, but that's not their fault. I do hope the train ride is a little more comfortable than last time while it beats the old stagecoach my family used to take before this new invention. There's just something awkward about sharing your means of travel with strangers. I'll say a little prayer for you. I should be back next week. Don't miss me too much, darling. Keep the lights on for me. Bye? Well, there goes, like, one of our big clues. Like, she's gone now. What the heck? Ooh, there's this new thing in the corner here. Unless I never noticed that. Vincent, humming a tune, descends the stairs and enters the speakeasy underneath his bookstore. Everything going smoothly with the case, bartender? Could be better. Not to worry. I might have something to help you. Have you ever noticed that large machine installed in the back there? So that's what was under there. That machine, it's called the Stack. It's like a wondrous digital library that you can consult about any piece of information you wish to learn, or so I've been told anyway. I received it as a gift from a university I once sponsored, but I admit I've never really tested it myself. Technology and I have never really seen eye to eye. Vincent fishes a small copper key out of his pocket and places it on the bar top, sliding it across to you. I'm entrusting you with it from here on out. Perhaps you can find use for it, gathering intel and the like. It's really the least I could do after getting us both involved in this situation. Thank you, Vincent. Let's go play with our new toy. Welcome to the Stack. The Stack stands in the corner of the bar. This model was modified to operate on the 0.25 lei coins, but with the master key you received from Vincent, you can use it as often as you like. Flip the power switch on the back. You flip the power switch. After a brief roaring noise, the monitor lights up and you're met with a simple prompt. Welcome to the Stack. Search a topic. Whoa. Okay, looks like we're gonna just do all this. Vincent. Registered. Vincent Flora, born in 1872 in Bakovi, patriarch of the current generation of the Flora family. I found many mentions of the Mr. Flora's financial contributions to numerous municipal projects. There's also records of 2 political donations and half a dozen university papers listed. Silas Tech lists Mr. Flora as a primary investor during Stack's initial development. He received one of the first prototypes as well as a lifetime subscription to the service. Mr. Floer oversees the Floer Foundation, which has business interests in the political, administrative, and charitable spheres of Sara. I also have a police report that shows Mr. Floer was cautioned last year for running an illicit speakeasy. The report mentions Constable Hugo Mertens as the officer making the report. Interesting. Detective Hugo Mertens. Registered. Detective Hugo Nestor Mertens is a detective for the Bakovi police force who has been mentioned in several articles. He is not Saran. There is mention of Detective Mertens of the Brux Police Constabulary in the country of Belgium. The earliest mention of Detective Mertens in Sara was 1926. He is listed as one of the youngest detectives in Sara, having received a promotion in November last year after his work on the Bakovi killer case. The police were unable to apprehend the presumed perpetrator, Elliot Lynn, though no more cases have occurred since his disappearance. That's all the information I have. Elena Ernest. Elena Ernest, registered. Born in 1867, first customary search indicates her name is mentioned in a dozen press articles. A more comprehensive search would give more detailed results. Elena Ernest worked as a Bakovi Police Department detective until the late 90s, when she switched careers to become a private investigator. She solved many crimes, including a double homicide in Bakovi in 1899, where the constabulary failed to make progress until she came on board. How does this machine work? The Silas Tech Archive Connection, STAC, is a major step forward in information technology. It connects users via radio phone terminal with operators who will answer your user queries from the comfort of their homes. It's time to trade with your encyclopedias and stick with Stack. Is a person answering all these questions? Confirmed. My name is Isla, and I am an operator for Silas Tech. How can I assist you today? How do you know all these things? The finest reference material ever printed, cross-referenced by skilled, articulate information officers like me. Interesting. What does an operator do? Are there other operators? Operators are trained information officers ready to help manage your searches. Operators are designated on per console basis, though some consoles may share operators. If I'm not meeting your expectations, please let us know. Should you wish to change to a different operator, you can submit a request for the main menu. You're doing wonderfully. Interesting. That will be all. Yeah, let's keep seeing if there's more information. Elena Dragos. Registered. Elena Dragos was born in 1906. She was a very successful chess player and was on track to make Grandmaster within the next 5 years. She was the child of Alexander Dragos, a notable gambler who made a fortune playing poker, and her mother is not listed. While not named in any articles, some sources claim her mother left the family to join a cult known as the Deus Irae in the year 1911. Elena Dragos was pronounced dead at the age of 22 as the victim of a suspected murder while visiting a tea house in Bakovi. Would you like a printout of the article detailing the event? No thanks, I already have this one. Let's see. Maria Popa, born 1906 in Bakovi, is a chess player known for her 1921 first place finish in the Sara Northern Region's Chess Grand Prix. She won a tournament in 1921 at age 15. She's a local at Tipokovi. According to chess periodicals, she has achieved top 3 finishes in several more competitions, though I can't find the tournament names. So she used to be a winner. Killian Durand, registered. Born in 1905 as the child of businessman Maurice Durand and Dr. Agatha Durand, several archives contain documents regarding applications for a variety of notable universities and colleges in and around the nation of Zara. None of them are marked for approval, as all the attached application tests display a grade below the accepted standard. He was able to start medical studies at Bakovi University as a legacy student due to his mother's status as an alumnus, but dropped out in his second year. Oh, he dropped out. Okay. Wendy Brooker. Registered. Brooker is a common surname in Zara. Nothing else about Wendy Brooker. Records show no notable entries with that name. What? Even in the context of old money? Please hold. Reason. Records for old money families are often missing or incomplete. This can happen for many reasons, but sometimes it's because they have the resources to protect their privacy. The monitor seems to be receiving more information, but the connection is slow, and for a while, no new text appears. You periodically look back at the screen to see if there's anything new. As you're about to flick the switch to reset the terminal, a response finally appears. Query complete for all registered old money families, their marriages, relationships, children, and adoptions with the mention of the individual, Wendy Brooker. 0 matches found. Please note that archives may be incomplete due to privacy restrictions. Interesting. Who are you, Miss Brooker? Okay. Feng Bai. Registered. Born in 1873, Miss Bai migrated from the Empire of Huaxia to Zara in 1893, and is the current proprietress of a small tea house called the Tea Terrace, just off the central boulevard of Bakovi. Local articles from the Zara newspapers focus on a recent murder that took place at her establishment. Please give me some time to find more information and translations from the Huaxian papers. A series of 3 dots begins to loop on the screen of the terminal. Since this will take some time, you decide to return to the bar and check in later. Out of the corner of your eye, you notice the screen flashes and a new prompt appears. Thank you for your patience. Feng Bai was mentioned in an article from a Huaxian newspaper regarding a mass poisoning that took place at a tea house where she was employed as a waitress. The constabulary asked me to translate this particular newspaper 6 years ago, and I still have it on file. An old wealthy family that visited had become the target of a vigilante organization set on strategic assassinations of ancient affluent crime families. At the time, no evidence was found at the scene that could incriminate any of the staff, and the investigation was quickly closed when the vigilante organization claimed responsibility for the attack. That is all I could find. Huaxian newspapers are hard to come by and they're difficult to translate. More thorough investigation would require several months of processing time. Interesting. Lethal poisons of Zara. Registered. Sorry, did you say you want information on lethal poisons? Yes. Please clarify the reason for this query. Such information may violate our safety protocols. It's for research. You are not the only person to ask about this topic recently. Are you pursuing this query in a professional context? I am working with Detective Mertens. Confirmed. There are hundreds of lethal poisons. Which one are you interested in? Poisons that are hard to detect in drinks. Confirmed. Results will be filtered to those marked as botanical poisons, whose natural essence will not greatly alter the taste of beverages. There's a brief delay. The most commonly used botanical poisons in Saran history are wild heart, reaper's cap, lynxbane, and moss mold. Most deaths are accidental, though there are some historical examples of assassinations via these poisons. Properties. Now listing all properties of common botanical poisons of Zara when a lethal dose is ingested. Wild heart. Time to take effect, 1 hour. Sweating, increased blood pressure, leading to heart attack. Reaper's cap. Time to take effect, 8 hours. Skin rash, hallucination, and severe internal hemorrhaging. Lynxbane. 4 hours. Severe coughing, convulsions with death by asphyxiation. So this is probably what we're looking at here. Death by asphyxiation. So it wasn't Killian if he came in late. Moss mold. Time to take effect, 30 minutes. Severe psychosis that can lead to suicidal ideation. All these poisons are native only in Sahara and found in and around rural areas. Methods of harvest and extraction will not be shared due to safety protocols. Okay, Bakovi speakeasies. Registered. Under the current Sahara prohibition law written and signed into Article RCH, Section 2, Case O, the practice of serving alcoholic beverages is banned outside of religious practices. Are you sure you didn't mean Bakovi bars? No, I meant speakeasies. Silas Tech does not keep records of illegal establishments. However, for reasons of historical preservation, would you like to list one? Actually, never mind. Maybe we shouldn't. Yeah. Maybe we shouldn't. That could backfire. Log off. That's so interesting. All that information. Miss Bai, you have a lot of information to talk about. Alright, let's talk to... Alright, talk to Vincent here. Are there any good food? Hang on. You like the Eastern Ruby. Let's see if we can get him a little loose-lipped up. Take a sip. You're getting better at this. For future reference, I'm a big fan of orange. If you got something behind that bar with orange, I'm all for it. Nice. What shall we discuss today? Are there any good food establishments nearby? Yes, the boulangerie on the boulevard is splendid. They always bake me a fresh baguette when I take my morning stroll through the park. Any other types of food? Yes, the patisserie, the bakery, the pastry shop, the macaroon cafe, and that lovely new establishment that puts honey inside the pretzels. Those are all cake places. Well, what do you expect? You know I have a sweet tooth. Everyone knows, most especially my dentist. Might you indulge me for a moment and help settle an argument between me and my friend Albert? Tell me, if you had to choose one pastry, just one, what would you choose? And I know pastries may not be the right name, but let's not get bogged down on semantics. Albert says one choice is objectively better, and I disagree. So please, share your choice. You only get to keep one, the superior option. You can choose cookies, croissants, donuts, or pretzels. Choose wisely. The pretzels, because you talked about the ones with honey in it. No, incorrect. Unless they are filled with honey butter, of course. Well, this was most enjoyable. I am warming up to you now. You are finding your feet here. Very good. I must speak with Albert soon and inform him of the outcome. Wait, no, I want another chance. Are you hungry? Well, what do you expect? I want... croissants. Close, but not quite. Croissants are good, but they always leave you feeling like you need something more. And they were Albert's first choice. No, I want to know which one you like the best. Donuts. Correct! And not those powdered sugar ones, something glazed. Ideally with cinnamon, like they eat in the colonies. Perfection. Yay, he likes donuts. Alright. Do you know anything about... Wendy mentioned that she'd be taking a trip to visit her family soon. She hopes the trainer will be at least somewhat comfortable. Goodness, you're still thinking about that, are you? I would not have brought it up if I had known you would latch onto it in this fashion. I assure you it's likely a complete coincidence. Miss Pauper has an inquisitive mind, that is all. What do you know about... Oh gosh. Lynxbane. The essence extracted from this plant is commonly found in rural Sara, causes convulsions, asphyxiation, requires 4 hours to take full effect. It has medicinal properties in lower doses. Oh, interesting. Oh yes, I've read about that once before in an illustrated botanical guide. Beautiful flowers, but very potent indeed. Dreadful to think something so deadly dots so many a garden and meadow. Interesting. Let's listen in on this conversation. I couldn't get over how balmy the weather was today. Dreadful to know these might be the last good days we'll get before it's nothing but sleet and icy wind for months. Makes me feel pressured to savor it. Aye, but every season has its merits, hasn't it? If not just the reminder that the world is still spinning on despite it all. Besides, we've already had a pretty good run this year around, I say. Oh, I don't know. There's so much we haven't done yet, too. Why don't you and I go for a walk beyond the city tomorrow, before it gets too cold? I've been meaning to drag you up to the Fenlands one of these days. It's so beautiful out there. Tomorrow? Yes, there's this lovely little braderie happening in the Piazza di Peste tomorrow morning, and they have this one stall that sells the most delightful little viands. Vianoshu is absolutely delectable, especially the eclairs. It does sound alright, but... Right? We could pick some up on the way, and I'll have Andre prepare us a little basket so we can picnic out at the lookout point for lunch. Andre? Oh, he's just my butler. Anyway, I just once saw this funny red duck somewhere around here, and you absolutely must tell me what it is if we find it again. I'm sure you know all about it. Lucas? I'm not sure if it'll rain, but I'll pack us an umbrella anyway. I don't have binoculars, so I'll leave that part to Lucas. Lucas's chattering falls silent as Bjorn stops him with a gentle touch on the knee. That all sounds absolutely wonderful, but I have work tomorrow. Oh, you can't take a day off? If only. They still haven't gotten the union off the ground, and not for lack of trying. After that last attempt, I'll be lucky to get some time off for Yule. Oh, that's unfortunate. Well, why don't we do it on Sunday morning then? There'll be no market, of course, but I know another bakery that isn't too far out of the way. Cesar usually has the day off on Sundays, though. Cesar? I thought his name was Andre. Oh, no, Cesar is my chauffeur. Anyway, I'm sure if I ask nicely, Lucas. I'll drive us. I'll make us gammon and egg sandwiches and pick you up at 8. How's that sound? That sounds wonderful. Who do I want to talk to? I want to talk to Elena last, so talk to Bjorn here. Evening. Not sure where to place, not sure where to start. What sort of drinks do you like, Bjorn? Something simple and strong, please. I'll see what I can do. You look like you need a drink. And then I look how I feel. He likes the night count. It doesn't let me ask him a lot of questions, though. Is anything... simple and strong. Passion fruit. Gives me more questions to ask him, and it's also strong enough to get him drunk. Does the trick. Alright. What's your job? Metalwork? I don't think you'd be interested. It's not too complicated. I'm interested. I rivet the frames of the outside flanges to fit the strainer inside pressure vessels for steam tanks that are reinforced for high-yield fabrication. See? Interesting. If you say so. You're an odd sort. I don't mean that in a bad way. Back in Scotia, I worked in barkentines, or you might call them schooners. Sailing boats, right? Bloody huge things. No. Damn. Sorry about the language, pal. Is that allowed here? It's fine. I'll work in Scotia on those big schooners, but they were solid things, not like the matchwood they used in Sarah. You know a lot about ships. Yeah, Scotian barkentines have 3 masts, and back home they built them with steam cores, and they had an electrolyzer induction system. The sails were mostly for show or military maneuvers. It's in my blood, you see. I come from a shipbuilding family. 3 brothers, and my father. Hells, even my mother worked on ships, training the dampers and how you use signal flags. In Scotia? Yeah, what a country. Whiskey and rain run in my veins. Because it's the only 2 liquids that flow in Scotia. I hate it, and I miss it. You have to go away to come home, you know? Why did you leave Scotia? My brothers and my mother, needed money. There's no work back in Scotia, so I came here. Siren coin goes a long way back home. Will you go back? Maybe. No, probably not. Sometimes you change so much you don't fit back where you came from. Like a jigsaw puzzle that got too beat up. Your family must miss you. Aye, it's mutual. I just worry that when I get back, my brothers will think I've changed too much and I'll feel like they haven't changed at all. And none of us will fit anymore. Maybe here can become home? Maybe. Maybe you're right. What a place. You're close with Lucas. I'd like to be. What's stopping you? He's a fine fellow, a gentleman. We know each other a little. And, well, I like him a great deal. We're not close friends, though I would like that, but I like him as more than a friend, you see. How did you meet? Upstairs, actually. I'm not much of a reader, but I needed an ornithology book to help me identify a species of robin. He was nearby reading about coffee beans, I believe. I think neither of us are accustomed to talking to strangers, but we both made a go of it. Hope he realizes I want a deeper relationship than casual book chats. Maybe tell him? I feel I've put all my cards on the table, but I also wonder why he is interested in me at all. As a friend, companion, or anything else. Perhaps he has a business reason. Could you help his business? I don't think so. No, or I suppose I just need to talk to him more openly. I think so. Any friends joining you tonight? I don't really know many people in the Boulevard or in Bakovy. You might meet someone tonight. Yeah, I was nervous to come here, but it's nice. Lots of different types of people. I don't feel too out of place. That's what we're aiming for. I like that. Maybe I'll meet some of Lucas's friends tonight. I just hope they don't expect someone different. Different? More like Lucas. Wealthy, smart, book smart and witty. I'm not the guy you bring out to the after-dinner chat about literature and philosophizing and that kind of thing. Do you even want to be? I suppose the crew is safe at night, but treads lightly in the snow. I suppose the crow is safe at night, but treads lightly in the snow. Huh? It's a Scotian saying. The crow is black, you see, and in the snow it's too easy to spot. But at night, the crow flies with confidence, because the night is safe for the crow. I guess it means we all have our comfort zones, but if we don't leave sometimes, we won't make any new friends. How's your family, Bjorn? Doing their best. I send money home and it helps. My brothers spend it on their vices, and my mother spends her share on food for them all. And your father? My dad lies at the bottom of the Albion Sea. I'm sorry about that. He died doing what he loved, being a drunken dafty on a big boat. Thing is, 9 times out of 10, if there was an accident, it was his fault. Not this time, though. What happened? Friendly fire from an Albion frigate during the Europa War. Big hole in the fore, the ship sunk like a straw into the drink. Straight down. Sorry. Better people have died worse. My 3 brothers all should learn a lesson from Da's death. They won't. You don't get on? I'll try. 3 brothers, 3 problems. Anstrom, Caleb, Donbo. That's them in order of crisis. Let's start with Anstrom's problem. He's a fighter. Can't go into a pub. Those are still open in Scotia without chinning someone. That means hitting him in the face. Why is he violent? He's the youngest. I think deep down he's scared he'll be conscripted, but he'll never admit that, so he's out there every night with something to prove. He's picking fights to prove he's the big man, and me and my brothers are all big men, but violence doesn't make you the big man, it makes you a bully. How about your other brother, Caleb? He's the drinker. Plenty of those in Scotia. He's making his own moonshine now. Considering where I am right now, maybe I'm not one to talk, but I think if you're brewing moonshine out of the bitter berries, you should sell some, especially when you're drinking so much every night you can't see. And Donbo? That lad chases anything in a skirt. I'm fine with that, but he has to be straight with them. Every Friday night, some scandalized father or angry husband turns up at my ma's door. And then the noise wakes up Anstrom, he runs downstairs, and there's a Barney. A wee man gets thumped, and my brothers have ruined some poor soul's night. Do you have a word with them? Yeah, my mother asked me to step in. Could even have one of them come through and stay with me in Bakovy, set them straight. We got space for one, though. Problem is, I don't know which one. They all look up to me, and I feel like I could keep them on the straight and narrow when I was back there, but here? That's rough. Hey, can I put you on the spot here? You've been a real good listener tonight. Can I ask your opinion? Sure. Anstrom, Caleb, Donbo, the fighter, the drinker, the philanderer. Which one can I help? Which vice can be cured? Violence, drinking, or heartbreaking? Let's see. Caleb can try it here with the prohibition, but there's a speakeasy. Dambo can find a good woman in Bakovy and settle down. Or Anstrom's just afraid. Help him. Maybe Danbo. Aye, there's some fine women in the city, less angry fathers with shotguns. Maybe Danbo then. I'll think about it. Did you see the news about the peace talks today? Are you joking? Huh? There's no chance of peace now. Treaties between the Alliance and Rusalka satellite states means they're unifying a clear way for invasion through the Eastern Peninsula. That's bad? How do you not know about this? How do all of you in Bakovy not know of this? I keep trying to talk to Tsaran people about what's happening in the world, and they look at me like I'm reading them like a story from a fiction novel. You're right. We need to face the realities of war. I understand that war is frightening, but it is going to happen. We're running out of time, but everyone in Tsar wants to pretend this party can go on forever. Why are you so sure it's coming? My last job, I worked on these long reinforced barrels for Earthshaker cannons. These things had to have striations that were 3 whole inches long to stabilize the munitions. That's because the shells carried a payload. The engineers dreamed them up last month, and they called it Promean Flame. It costs 800 brass per ounce to produce, and it burns human flesh down to the bone. You don't make something that expensive and that cruel unless you plan to use it. The weapons of the last Pen Nation war have made 1 million widows. The weapons of next war won't leave anyone to grieve. Is it that bleak? Look, I don't think it's completely hopeless. There might be a way we all come out the other end of this thing. But we all need to start behaving like our time is limited and precious. Because it is. And even if you think the war doesn't affect you, this mad grain rationing is ineffectual and it stopped all alcohol productions. We can only hope the world sees sense, and soon. Yeah, I better hit the tracks. I need a solid 8 hours before a shift. Hello. Evening. Business looks to be going well enough. Now, what looks good tonight? What sort of drink you like, Lucas? I'm quite fond of coffee. It's a wonderful beverage. Perhaps you could work it in somehow? Got it. Yeah, he did like the wake-up call a lot. I have the ambush here. See if he also likes this one. It's coffee liqueur. Take a sip. Interesting flavor. Change is good. Sometimes. Alright. Besides Bjorn, do you know anyone else here? Except for Vincent, not really. But I'm happy to mingle. I've already done a lap of the room and the conversations has been decent. I make friends easily. For example, I was having an interesting chat with Detective Mertens about model trains. It's a friendly chap. Model trains? Yes, indeed. He's a little odd, but if you hit on his subject of interest, he gets very animated. I enjoy talking to anyone who's passionate about a subject, no matter what the subject is. What are you passionate about? Guess. Coffee. Good guess. You're a sharp one. I'm very fond of strong espresso, though cappuccino has its place too. But you only need these you only drink those in the morning. I learned that when I visited Vitula in my teens. How are you and Bjorn getting on? I have tied myself in knots trying to figure him out. I think I need a drink before I talk about this. Yeah, we need to get him a little drunker, I think, for more personal topics. You work on the boulevard too, right? Yes, in the International Business Office of the Grand Central Bank. How's business? Good. For now, I've been promoted a few times, and if I keep working hard, I may make assistant manager next year. Your job sounds interesting. Thank you. Few would agree, but it's steady and pays well. I mean, I can't retire quite yet, but I can afford nice food, good coffee, and as many cocktails as I can handle. And it's probably a good idea to have an essential job to avoid conscription. Are you worried about the war? We don't use that word at the bank. It tends to make our customers nervous. But yes, unrest slows business, and I worry that most of the borrowing and loans we see right now are disaster investors and profiteers. Why would anyone stockpile food now if not to benefit from it later? Who's stockpiling? It seems to be more expensive luxury items we see being bought in bulk and stockpiled, mainly by former currency speculators from Belgium and Bulgaria. Currencies are too unstable, so they have changed their focus. Do the banks think war is inevitable? The banks don't make bets. They leave that to the customers. They plan for all outcomes. Are you a coffee enthusiast? We have a better name than coffee enthusiast. Caffeine addict? Java junkie? Mocha maniac? What? No, I'm a brewmaster. Any tips? Many. Too many. But if I was to suggest a top 3... Grinding first. Only grind right before brewing. Too early with the grind and your coffee will be stale. Next is tamping. That's when you push the coffee down in the basket. You must tamp, but lightly and without pressure. Don't compact the coffee or the water won't flow through evenly and will channel. And third, don't shock your hot coffee with a cold cup. You can get every step correct and ruin a good coffee pour at the very end with a cold cup. Thanks for the tips. Anytime. I'm opening a bag of Janie and Brown dark roast beans next. Beans soon. Next time I brew some, I'll let you try it. What do you do for fun, Lucas? Well, every day I try to do 3 main activities. If I miss any, I really am very grumpy, but if I do all 3, I'm ready to face the day. What are they? First is the morning coffee routine, obviously, but I also like to crumble a brown sugar biscuit over some fresh yogurt and whatever berries I can find. On special days, I drizzle some lavender honey on top. Then I go out to my garden and feed my cats, Martha, and see if the little finch is eating from the bird feeder. I call him Bartholomew. And then I have an ice-cold shower. Really? Yes, indeed. I feel the ice-cold water clears my head and wakes me up more effectively than a single source Arabica dark blend. Medium roast with sugar. What do you do for fun, bartender? I glue pennies to the road and watch people try to pick them up. I enjoy conversation. I am pushing myself to find the fun in meeting others, like you do every day. I still find it hard, but I'm trying. Thanks for this distraction. I feel I'm getting better at the small talk. At the time. I have an early start tomorrow. Take care. What am I in the mood for today? What sort of drinks you like, Peter? I like proper drinks, something dark and bitter. Seems like my old favorite's off the menu anyway. Has that made you dark and bitter? How about you leave the jokes and stick to mixing, bartender? You like the perfect storm. He likes 2 others, so I'm just trying to see if I can find some other ones. Dark and bitter. Let's try ambush. If he likes 3 of them, I want to try to find all 3. Take a sip. With a cherry on top. You know how to make a good drink. And you know you almost made one tonight. Oh, dang. Okay. Let's see. How do you feel about the prohibition? Not good. I hate it too. Yeah, and your job, I can see why. Though I guess there ain't much competition for you right now. The kingdom of the blind, the one-eyed man is king, and all that. But the people in power got their reasons for this prohibition, and they for sure don't care about your success or failure as a bartender. Prohibition was a test to see how far they can push us before we push back. So far, I don't see anyone doing anything but rolling over. That's how you get power over someone. You don't push too far too fast, you bend them to do what you want. Push too hard and they break. They fight back or try to get help. That's how I do it. Just keep testing the waters. Push a little, edge into their space, make demands, disrespect them, but not so much they notice at first. Then one day they'll wake up and realize it's too late to fight back. You already have them under you. It's too late for them to get indignant, to stand up for themselves. You already cut them off at the knees. Is that how you got into this line of work? No one cuts me off at the knees. I take orders for whoever pays me. But they don't own me. It's just a job. I collect from people who run, and those people are, in my experience, weak. I got no spine. That's Sara, though. The Sarans roll over every chance they got. First the mobilizations, then prohibition, conscription. There'll be curfew next. It's all about power. How you keep it. Why, though? Why? Because no one is questioning power when they're already on their knees, terrified of war. Trust me. Strength recognizes strength. Some days I gotta be a monster. It's my job description. But there's a worse kind of monster than me. Called politician. Why do you work for Carla? You got a problem with me working for Carla? No business of yours when I get my scratch. Watch your mouth. I work for whoever can afford me and needs my unique skill set. I'm a freelancer in a competitive market, afloat on the seas of supply and demand. It's all economics, really. And you're a freelancer for Carla? Right now, yes. What's she like? Do you really want to know? Think carefully. I can talk to you about what people know about her, or I can tell you about her nature. Her true nature. My advice is this. You can't unknow things. Make sure you have the stomach for the question you ask. What's her true nature? Someone like Carla doesn't need to get her hands dirty very often. But you can't forget where she comes from. But you can't forget where she came from and what she did to get where she is now. She sat down with the old boss, King. They had a face-to-face. Can't you believe that? Two most dangerous people alive sat opposite each other at a table like it was any other business meeting. Slicing up the city, deciding who got what. King got the casinos, Carla got the racetracks. Carla gets the protection racks, King does the laundry. Only problem was, Carla decided her piece of the cake wasn't big enough. At the end of the meeting, they can't reconcile. King doesn't seem worried. He goes up to Carla, reaches out a hand. Guess he thought, at the end of the day, she was just a dame. They was both unarmed. What could she do to him? What'd she do? She took his hand. Then she looks him in the eye and says, "It's already done." What was already done? That's what he asks. Doesn't seem nervous, but he should be. She explains, all your men, all your connections, everyone you can think you can rely on, they're already gone. Gone? Gone. One way or another, most she killed, few she turned. He knew the meeting wasn't going to work out, but it was all a distraction. The final part of a meticulous plan, years in the making. What did he say? It was too late for him to say or do anything. And in that moment, the craziest thing was, he believed her. It'd be easy to dismiss her words as a bluff, but he knew. He knew she was telling the truth. How did she do it? Bombs hitting radio cars, hitmen waiting in cafes, poison in wine, piano wire around the neck. I hear she iced 47 guys, all in a 10-minute window during that one meeting. Can you imagine the planning that takes? She even had King's boys who were standing inside the meeting room strung up, waiting for him like decorations. The guys in the room already turned too. That's why Carla is dangerous. They say anger is the strongest emotion, but the quickest. Gone in a flash. Not for Carla. Her anger is cold, and it waits and waits, and it never goes away. That's how I judge people. Our true nature isn't what we show to people. Our true nature is what we're capable of, what we can hold on to, and what we can do when someone threatens what we have. That's who we are. Interesting. Any good stories? Stories from my work? You sure you got the stomach for that? Yeah. I guess I could tell you about me, Gillard, and Ronzi did a spot at a rundown outpost store in the Rava Valley. Before we left the city, Ronzi threatened the liquor store owner and to keep the wolves, us, from the door. He let us borrow his radio cab. It had a big storage unit in the back. You know, like those delivery trucks that bring the fish to market downtown. Anyway, we were all thoroughly inebriated on the Biddleberry wine Gillard had secured for us that morning. While those two were taking shots, driving, and drinking, I had a rummage in the back. You won't believe what I found. What? Fancy dress costume. Big fluffy bear costume. The liquor store owner must have been doing kid parties on the weekends or something. Anyway, Gillard gets so drunk he puts the costume on while me and Ronzi are taking a piss. The suit was massive, fuzzy, even had these ears and everything. Fancy stuff. We're stumbling around, making bear noises, and we're all laughing our asses off, but this mad farmer comes running around the trees. Turned out he was living in the farmhouse nearby. You never guess what this guy was worried about. Real bears. Turns out they have big brown ones up there. Poor Gillard didn't even see it coming. Both barrels of shotgun, boom! What? Remember what I said at the start, right? Made you think this was going to be a happy story. He was a mad bastard anyway. At least he went out in a memorable way. Most other guys I worked with back in those days just had an infected stab wound or pickled their own livers. Poor Gillard. Yeah, I like to think of him in the afterlife in the goddess's arms, still wearing that stupid bear costume. And he's still growling. What you know about Lynxbane? Oh yeah, nasty stuff that. Familiar with it? Never used it myself, if that's what you're getting at. Poison, though, is a weapon for women and cowards. Unfortunately, it doesn't seem to cover the entirety of your suspect list, does it? Tough luck. Oh, no, I didn't want to click this one. They say she was ruthless. When I was growing up, King used to run this town. He'd get a cut of every score you landed on his territory until Carla came. When she took over, stuff got real subtle. The big scores disappeared and loud stuff, well, it went quiet. It didn't mean guys like me were out of work. Opposite, in fact. King had a high profile, but Carla is real good at finding out new ways to make money. Thing is, if you're good at ripping people off, they shouldn't even know you're ripping them off. Carla got so good she's almost legit now. When you stop restricting yourself to crime and go into business, that's when you get into the real nasty stuff. Corruption pays better than robbery. Still, Carla needs guys like me around. As she moves into regular type businesses, having an irregular guy like me can be very valuable. Don't get me wrong, Carla ain't exactly running for mayor. Crooked as they come, and she'll send some scarier guys than me to ice a rival without blinking when she needs to. She's real smart about it. I'm learning a lot about business from her. Hope you found the lesson interesting. I liked seeing how she actually was. That was more interesting. Do you know about, let's see. Anything about this blackmail incident? But a girl like her should have known better than to cut off a blackmailer. have no idea what kind of sick, depraved things people would do for money. Looks like she found out the hard way. It's late. I'm going home. Bye, Peter. Alright. Olivia Carmine. How the devil have you been? My throat is absolutely parched this evening. Let's get started, shall we? Your lips spill secrets they shouldn't. Gossip, darling. What did you like? A pirate's joy. Pirate's joy. Let's do something a little stronger. Maybe like the Eastern Ruby or the One Night Stand. Do the One Night Stand. Gives me more chances to talk to her about clues and stuff because she was also at the Tea Terrace. That information is super handy. It's a pleasure to see a fellow creative spirit. The improvisation tastes delightful. Got any gossip about Wendy Brooker? Oh my, it seems the alcohol turned off my capacity for drama. I doubt that. The tale I was saving for the radio show on the topic of superficiality. But for you, dear. Have you ever noticed how Miss Brooker and I make great efforts when it comes to our public persona? Absolutely. Then perhaps you have noted that we are not alike, though she may wish it so. Can't say I do. My earrings, choker, headband, all chosen for the occasion. I dress for the impression I want to make in the people who will see. Miss Brooker, meanwhile, always wears the same diamonds for every event. When I pressed her on this, she claimed they were a family heirloom and had sentimental value. I wasn't convinced, so I examined her earrings and the rock she sometimes wears on her finger. And they're not diamonds. They're rhinestones, as fake as the rouge on my cheeks. Moneyed families can fall into hard times, but they sell off their beach houses and fire their help. They don't pawn their family jewels. Refinement sharpens the senses, and without it, fake can fool many people, but not everyone. I've said enough already, but don't tell anyone. It will spoil the next episode of the show, darling, and I'll know it was you. I wouldn't dare. Ooh. Good thing why you got her a little bit drunk for that one, because that was good information. What's the recent gossip? Oh, come now, darling. That is not how the game is played. Knowledge is power. We don't give away our power unless forced. And gossip is knowledge with entertainment value. Spicy knowledge, if you will. What does Olivia have to offer? Well, frankly, quite a lot. But one thing she can possess in greater quality and quantity than anyone else in this little city is gossip. And if you want me to give that away, what can you offer in return of me? Of equal value. I could share some of my gossip. Darling, don't take this the wrong way, but if you know something that I don't, I'll have to reevaluate my understanding of the order of this universe. No offense intended. I have a better suggestion. You know, a personal recommendation from an esteemed member of the community, like a skilled bartender, can attract more listeners than 100 posters. Okay, I'll tell my customers about your show. Very good. And in return, I can offer one salacious piece of tittle and or tattle, but only one. The question is, who do you think holds the most interesting secrets? Ooh, you know a lot about Wendy, and we don't have anything on Wendy right now. Wendy. Haven't we talked about her already? The girls at the bridge club say she hires a young laborer from the stables to wear a saddle while she scares his buttocks with a riding crop. But personally, I think she prefers rich old men to stable boys. But I've already said too much. Let's change our focus to weightier subjects. Gossip is like cake, sweet in small portions, but too much can make you feel like a little sick. I suppose I can indulge you with a quick encore for your advertising efforts, but make sure to note it down this time. Who was it you wanted to know about again? I want to know about... What do you know about Feng? Oh, no, dear. Feng is my close friend. I would never reveal any of her secrets. Not just because we are close and both worship together, she's also not a woman to be crossed. I heard she had a rather colorful history back in Huaxia. Oh, I asked wrong question. Oh, goodness. This is just recounting of what she saw. There, okay. Recent gossip. What do you know about Maria? Oh, you won't get much drama out of that sad sack, I'm afraid. I mean, fair enough. I don't have a heart of ice, but you can see the girl suffers. I wonder what the big argument between her and the Dragos girl was about, though. Okay, so you don't know much about that. Last one. Killian. I hear our friend Killian is drying his tea bags out to reuse them because he spent his mummy's monthly allowance on radio cab journeys to impress a wealthy dowager uptown. A dancer called Hannah. Hot Hannah, no less. Does no one in the city know how to look after their money? On radio cab journeys to impress a wealthy dowager. Well, kind of weak gossip, but I understand. Rhinestone heirlooms, though, is interesting. Family used to fake wealth status, so why would an old money heiress be wearing these things? Unless she doesn't exist. Do you know anything about Feng's past? Oh, no. I am not following you down this path, bartender. Feng Bai is an upstanding, God-fearing woman and also my friend. I'm not interested. Okay, so she's not going to tell me anything about Feng Bai. But do you tell me anything about Wendy visiting family? Pardon me, darling. As much as I love gossip, I'm not too sure I know enough about this. Okay. What do you know about... Let's see. Okay, blackmail is gossip enough. Poor girl. I was foolish of her to think nothing would come of cutting off someone as unscrupulous as a blackmailer. Alright, well, give me something. Good to see you, my dear. I hope the day has treated you kindly. Always a pleasure, Elena. Bars are a great place for deep thoughts, and I always think best with a glass in my hand. What sort of drink do you like, Elena? Would simple fruity flavors be enough for you to work with? Definitely. Let's try to see if we can find her favorite. She has two favorites, simple fruity. The one night stand was good enough. Let's do the orange daisy. Take a sip. An auspicious start. This is blended perfectly. So, because there's no action limit on here, I think we can give her the case if we wanted to. Oh, no, we can't. Damn, I really don't want to. Why did you decide to come out of retirement? The poison girl, Elena. She was a bit of an outsider. Something about her death felt familiar. And that feeling, the scab I have to pick at. Reminds you of another case? Yes and no. It reminds me of a way I used to be. Reminds me of the old Elena who didn't back down from challenges and wasn't afraid to follow her instincts to see where they led. What happened to you? Defeat humbled me. Defeat by whom? I had not expected to be talking about this with you. Or anyone. Perhaps when we know each other better, I'll say more. What do you think of Detective Mertens? What do I think of him? Yes. Well, he didn't get hit to his current position without displaying some ability. He's no fool. But his strongest trait is not his intuition or deduction, it's his ambition. And it has led him into foreign lands, literally. I don't trust him. trust him. No, I don't trust him to look after your interests or mine. But I trust he will do what he can to stop this killer. We can use him. But he is a tool. And a tool only works when you use it for the right job. What do we use him for? You're either smart enough to work your way around Detective Mertens or you're not. But if you need a little advice, leave some openings that he can explore. Don't give him conclusions, point him in directions. He can put two and two together. For anything more complicated, that's where you might have to draw him a picture. Perhaps I am too hard on him. He has potential to be a good detective, or maybe he had potential. He's lost, dwelling on his own shortcomings. Maybe you can help him rediscover his spark, or at least help him company, or at least keep him company while he plays with his toy trains. What's it like being a private investigator? It's like being in one of those glamorous mystery novels that women of a certain age love so much, but without the glamour or mystery. How so? In real crimes, the victim is seldom beautiful and the culprit is almost always the husband. Crime is, most often, horribly mundane. Men are fragile and their egos are cracked. When their egos are cracked, they commit violence on women. Really? Well, that's just the murders and assaults, and in truth, I've stepped away from those. Don't have the stomach for it anymore. Even before I retired for 20-odd years, I was doing the more prosaic investigations. Like, the usual missing persons, inheritance squabbles, insurance fraud, corporate espionage, and the odd heist. The heist sounds exciting. Sometimes, yes. You heard of the Konunoa diamond robbery? It wasn't misplaced during cleaning in the Gallery of Colonia treasures. It really was stolen. And I found it. Wow. Anyway, can't get this Dragos girl out of my head. Something about the way she died. I need to unravel this mystery, even if it means stepping back into the world I thought I'd left behind. Besides, I can't stand that the police are trying to incriminate my friend. She cared a lot for the girl. I hope that by seeing this case solved, poor Miss Bai can find some concept of peace again in her life. I wonder why, everyone is so protective over Miss Bai. Your family living here in Bokovi? Normally, yes. But right now my husband is traveling. He'll visit the twins eventually, who now both live in the colonies, but his last postcard was from, let me think, Albion, I believe? You didn't want to travel with him? No, I'm quite fond of him, but I do enjoy some time to myself. What do you do with your time? Other than come out of retirement to moonlight on police investigations. I'm terribly fascinated by these new radio programs. What do you do with your free time? I need to pay off some debt somehow. Well, I can't help you with that, but I'm happy to feel you can confide in me. I look forward to solving the mystery of the young woman's death together. What do you think about speakeasies? Fine places that serve the thirsty citizens of Bokovi in their hour of need. Those who run such establishments put their liberty on the line for a splash of bourbon. Illegal, though. That doesn't concern me overly. But you worked for the police. I worked for them. I'm not married to the police. I don't need to pretend I agree with them. Indeed, the Bokovi constabulary comes to me from my contrarian nature. Contrarian? I found that the ruder I am to the officers in the downtown metropole precinct, the more they like me. When I was a young detective, they couldn't keep up with me, but they didn't listen to me or respect me either. Now I talk to them as you would a stupid child, or perhaps a very clever dog. And the boys at the station listen. Let this be a lesson to you, bartender. What's the lesson? When you treat people like they have to earn your respect, they give you theirs for free. It's important advice for people who often find they are the smartest one in the room, but not necessarily the most charismatic. Is that you? No, I'm very charming. You're very shrewd. Yes. Oops. Wait, can I do that again? You're a sharp one. Very good. Keep on keeping up. I wonder if I can spam that to get my affection higher. What do you think of the Bakovi police force? What do I think about them? They have a storied history. If you look back at their formation over the years, you can see why they are, how they are. Tell me about their history. The Bakovi Constabulary, to use the proper title, is a successor to the defunct Bakovi Imperial Order Regiment. You see, the old Bjorn was militarized, and with Bakovi's history of uprisings and coups, the reigning aristocracy was mainly focusing on keeping order in the streets. The old saying goes, tyrant politicians wear loose collars because they know the noose is always waiting. Wait, are you still listening, or is this too much for the short attention span of your generation? Still listening? Well, it all changed when the military staged a coup against our old aspiring emperor, Leopold the Bold. The old fool angered the generals, and they turned on him. Not exactly what the history books say. It is, if you read them properly and consider who wrote them. Anyway, this bickering between the Imperial Guard, the Bjorn, and the actual army started to worry the real power brokers in Sara, the landed gentry. And a lot of the soldiers found they no longer had homes in the winter. Financial levers were pulled, and the constabularies were founded primarily of ex-soldiers, employed to evict those who couldn't make rent. It was all a scheme. The new constabularies are paid 3 times what the Bjorn received, and recruitment drives were aggressive. Soon we had a demilitarized nation with a swollen police force. Of course, that didn't last. Once Leopold was exiled and the riots, protests, and skirmish subsided, the constabularies were thrashed to the bare minimum. We were left with the understaffed, overly aggressive PD you see in Bakovi. We have more empty police precincts in Sar than tea houses in Huaxia. But not to worry, they make lovely bird sanctuaries in the long cold winter. So that's why they're not great? Their primary motivation is the protection of property and to stabilize commerce, so the Bakovi economy chugs along like a steam locomotive. They tackle street-level crimes with the same ethos as the established gangs that rule the Bakovi Undercity. And that ethos is, you can't catch every lawbreaker, so when you catch one, make the poor bastards suffer. Then you just hope that your overreaction frightens the rest enough that they commit their crimes a little more discreetly. What do you think about that? You should think hard enough to form your own opinion and find the courage to share it. I agree. May I ask you some questions? How about we switch things up and I ask you some questions? I feel like you're doing a lot of interrogation, and maybe we should turn the tables for a minute. Treat it like a lesson, darling. I've been getting information out of all suspects all my life. Let me show you how it's done. Alright. Do you think you're up to the task of tracking down a killer? I'll try. Cautious. Interesting. Let me give you some guidance. When you're trying to get a read on someone, there's only one question you need to hold in your head. And that is, what does this person want me to feel about them? That's it? That's it. We all wear a mask when speaking with others, and the mask is built to show something. Be on the lookout for what others are trying to show you. It won't be hard to spot. Now, what kind of an investigator do you want to be? Do you want to serve your country? Do you want to serve your community or save yourself? I'm trying to do both. So you lack focus. Noted. What, that seems harsh to you? Well, that's rather the point, darling. Getting a read on someone isn't about a flattering idea of their nature, it's about the unflattering truth. Now, are you a sociable sort, or do you prefer your own company? I'm pretty sociable. You'd have to be to do this job. I wonder if that is a front for your true nature. Last question. Are you in love with anyone who doesn't know it? It's not a long or complex question, darling, and I don't care who it is. I'm just wondering if your heart is pining right now. I'm in love with someone right now. It's wonderful and terrible, isn't it? Good for you. You never feel more alive than when your heart is breaking. That's all of my questions for now. What was the point of this? 3 things. To practice, to educate, and to form an opinion on you. And I am rusty, but my instincts remain. You'll have learned a little something if you were listening, and if I haven't decided what I think of you. But you're not boring. That's enough for me for now. Alright, what do you think about this? So the blackmailer resorted to murder. Our culprit must have been someone with a lot on the line and a serious need for money. Try to gain the trust of the suspects involved and see if the shoe fits for any of them. What do you know about Elena's death? Truly dreadful way to go. Considering Elena's age and general good health, I can't imagine this being anything but foul play. But what could have brought on those particular symptoms? There was a threatening letter. I'm just going to go through all of these real quick. Seems Bukovia Police still has its uses. They've done well unearthing this piece of information for us. I imagine Detective Mertens believes our mystery blackmailer could be the killer. Definitely a solid lead. We'll need to find out what Elena's secret is if we're to narrow down our list of suspects. Her close friends might be able to tell us. I'm not surprised to hear Dr. Duran runs a tight ship. Her son certainly seems to have a penchant for trouble. Still, I speak from experience when I say young men his age don't take well to parental control. I doubt he moved back home willingly. Try to find out what happened there. It might be relevant. He arrived late to the scene. It certainly sounds in character for young Mr. Duran to show up late, doesn't it? If we're lucky, the time of his arrival might just cross him off our list of suspects. Try to find a way to narrow down our time frame. When exactly could Elena's death have been set in motion? Okay, so this is Elena's secret. I'd have thought a girl like Elena was wise enough to steer clear of such things, and certainly too wise to take them in excess. It's true that medication like this can do some serious damage to one's health over time, but I somehow doubt it's that simple. Her friends knowing her secret, though, now that part is interesting. And they were given charcoal, those who survived. Miss Bai may have saved lives, but of course Detective Mertens is quick to point the finger at her for it. Still, let's do our due diligence and at least ask her where she learned about charcoal medicine's properties. Okay, here is evidence. Interesting, Mr. Flower could stand to hold the privacy of his customers in higher regard. But in this case, it has brought us a valuable piece of information. This doesn't look good for Miss Popa. They were also unfriended. Miss Bai know these girls well. If she believes there may have been some bad blood there, believe her. We'll need to find out what their quarrel could have been about. One of their friends might be able to tell us more. She also had Miss Bai had a toxology history. I'm not surprised. Miss Bai is a wise and well-traveled woman. Let's put the idea of her being some killer to bed already, shall we? She's been hassled enough by our detective. Must we go digging in her past too? I don't like that people are also protecting her, but at the same time, I'm just like, I don't see it. When it believes that Maria has been always accepted being second best. I'm not sure I would consider Miss Brooker the best judge of character, but if a shift in Maria's attitude was clear even to her, there might be something here. Try to find out what have soured her like that. There was a betrayal 6 months ago. It's possible they fought over Elena's use of medication. The timeline certainly lines up, but for it to have ended their friendship entirely, I'd imagine there's a little more to this than we have yet to piece together. And then here's a motive. What a painful affair. As a betrayal of this person could certainly be motivation for murder. I imagine Miss Dragos had a reason for what she did, although I doubt we'll ever find what they were. So, Miss Brooker's visiting family. Taking a relaxing vacation in the middle of an ongoing murder investigation might come across a bit callous, but I suppose it is alright. The fact that she told you about it is probably a good sign. Not that I imagine Miss Brooker has any intent to slip away. Alright, here's a little bit of Feng's past. I suppose I'm impressed. To learn about Feng's past without her consent is no simple task, but you seem determined to dig up her secrets. Don't go putting any wild thoughts in your head, bartender. This means nothing. Here's some lynx bane. Fascinating. All of Elena's symptoms match those of lynx bane poisoning. That's a plant native only in Tsara. Our nation's history is littered with stories and rumors about lynx bane poisoning. It's a useful medicine, but a potent toxin. As with all things, it's the dosage that makes the difference, and that can be hard to measure if you're not familiar with the plant and the process. You'd be shocked if you didn't find a small stash of the stuff in the office of any doctor in the Bukovia Boulevard. How do you know all this? I paid attention in history class when I was in school, and I paid attention when I went for dinner with Dr. Duran and her son Killian. Fascinating. So yeah, that's some evidence that they would know, obviously. I suppose if I was to trust anyone's judgment on jewelry, it would certainly be Olivia Carmine's. How peculiar. You think someone from such wealth wouldn't be caught dead wearing mere rhinestones, let alone passing them off as an heirloom. Still, I suppose being tacky is not a crime. And then this one here, deadly medicine. I don't know what poor Agatha Duran did to be cursed with such a fool of a son. Perhaps his father dropped him on his head as a child. If he does turn out to be our culprit, at least you can be certain her punishment will be more severe than that of any judge. Yeah, I think that's everything that I can talk to her about. We have evidence for Killian, and honestly, having Killian be two suspects at once is kind of unnerving. Either he's stupid or just extremely bad lucky. Alright, there was a betrayal here. What do you want to say about this? Sounds credible. The timeline lines up. But why would Elena's use of medication have sparked a conflict this serious? I would understand a reaction of concern or disapproval from Maria, but anger strong enough to end a lifelong friendship? There must be more to this. Here's some motivation. A long-suffering victim of foul play, ending their rivalry with a final checkmate. It's a solid theory. Still, would Miss Popa have been capable of such a cold, calculated act? Let's try to find out how she really felt about Elena. Yeah, I need to get her to like me more. Visiting family. I'm not sure this is relevant to our investigation. You think Miss Brooker might try to skip town? I think she'll be back. Alright. Let's keep it in the back of our minds for now. So she's gone for a week. She'll probably be back on like day 10 or 11. Here's something about Feng Bei's past. I see. So Lena was the first poisoning Feng Bei has been implicated in. Even if it wasn't linked to the crime at the time, the fact it happened again gives me pause. See if this lines up with anything we've already learned about Miss Bai. We got a lot of information today. Link Spain clue. Excellent work, bartender. You're more resourceful than I give you credit for. Good. Good. So this is our poison then. Not the kind of plant that you could get your hands on in a city like Bukovia unless you're exceptionally well connected or a medical professional. A poisoner must have gone out of their way to obtain it. Finding out who had access to Linksbane should lead us to our culprit. See if any of the witnesses can give us a timeline of events too. If Linksbane needs 4 hours to take effect, that means Elena must have been poisoned around noon. Are you seriously spending your time on this investigation of hot gossip with Miss Carmine? You must admit it's odd. Fine, I'll entertain the idea. So you believe Miss Brooker is wearing fake, cheap jewelry. What does that tell you? She doesn't have money for real jewelry? So in other words, you believe she's not all she claims to be. It's an interesting theory. If Miss Brooker is not quite as wealthy as we'd initially assumed, it means she too could be our blackmailer. But we're going to need more concrete evidence than the word of Olivia Carmine. If you find any other clue that could substantiate your theory, bring them together. Deadly medicine. Here is, evidence. So your hypothesis is that Killian used Linksbane after acquiring it from his mother's pharmacy cabinet. The possibility. He raps his knuckles on the bar. Are you familiar with the feeling of deja vu? Yes. Let's just say I've been here before. But I can't discuss past cases, of course. Let's keep working on this theory. That's what I was saying. I'm like, the fact that he's here again... Obviously, we as the current bartender don't know that, but us as knowing all the bartending stuff, know all the things. And we know what they know is that we know there's a caddy. All right. Let's look at all of these new thingies. Let's see. Waxian assassin. Essential knowledge of toxins was suspected in deadly poisoning before. Would certainly have to know how to kill Elena if she wanted to. Indeed, that is evidence. Strong evidence. Let's see here. Killian's innocence. Wait. Killian's late arrival confirms he couldn't have poisoned Elena, as it takes 4 hours for Link's Bane to take effect. Whoever poisoned Elena's tea must have done so before Killian arrived. Okay, so that proves Killian's innocence. Unfortunately. Okay. So the defense is there. So we have a lot of information for Feng's past, but ooh. We finding all the clues now. Something's got to put together. I will say it's not looking so good for Elena. I don't think we're gonna get anything else out of here, but we'll try it. Entrance. So she doesn't have money. And she's like super private. Like, where is all this gonna go? Nope. Nope. This is the skills of the world's greatest detective. You let the computer do it for you. I don't think there's going to be anything more with Killian's innocence here. But it does help us. Yeah, I don't think he has a motive, but I want to know what kind of like, what was the fight about? What did Elena and Maria fight about that made them essentially stop talking for like 6 months? And would that be enough for Elena to want to kill her? Because right now it says Killian has defense. It's a strong defense. He wasn't there. Wendy, we don't know anything about Wendy. Maybe she thought maybe it was an accident. Maybe she used this as like a medicine to help, like, in a way to counteract whatever drugs that Elena was taking. And it was too much. That could be something. It could really well be something. Well, we're gonna end it here, friends. We ended up going about definitely an hour longer than I expected to be. So we'll jump into the next on day 6. We'll get into the next episode next time, and we will see what Peter has to say in the next episode. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you guys have been enjoying this playthrough. Thank you so much for your comments and likes and all the good stuff. I appreciate it. I hope you guys have a wonderful evening. Take care of yourself. Be kind to yourself. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.